Hey guys, what's up? Spectre here, and today I just wanted to talk about the Festival of the Lost, which everyone has sounded off about and had their issues with, but first I'd like to talk about something that I haven't really seen many people talk about, and those are the narrative issues with Festival of the Lost. This is the festival's second year, and Bungie did a better job of explaining the premise, that for about a week every year we would, as they say, laugh in the face of death, which in theory sounds interesting and fine, I guess. But I challenge you to think about a tragedy that may have taken place where you live. For me, that example would be 9/11. I live in New York City, and that's a serious day here, and I can't imagine us suddenly having a festival where we laugh at death. So why would the last human city on Earth do this when we're supposed to be on the brink of extinction? Once you juxtapose the event's lore to the main storyline's lore, it doesn't really hold up anymore. Destiny could have separated itself from every other run-of-the-mill multiplayer event by using its own narrative to its advantage. Perhaps the denizens of the last city had found ancient texts about Halloween, an old ceremony upheld by humans, and it's something they wanted to try, or at least adding some gravity to the brevity, perhaps giving us quests that teach us more about the heroes from the Grimoire who've died. Focus on the lost in Festival of the Lost. A more serious quest culminating in a ceremony of remembrance of some sort in the new Iron Temple would have been a great use of that new space. I just feel as though throughout Destiny's lifespan, many opportunities have been lost and not taken advantage of. And speaking of taking advantage, let's talk about microtransactions. I've never been a fan of microtransactions from the very start. Cooler heads in the community advise that we should wait and see what happens, and in truth, people still aren't able to buy game-breaking power. But I've noticed that once the industry part of the gaming industry sees a lucrative revenue stream, they aren't quick to give it up or slow it down once it started raking in a lot of money, and I'm especially wary of a company like Activision, who are notoriously greedy and known for putting profit before the product. In the case of this festival, I, as well as many others, felt a bit ripped off by the drop rates we've seen. I've watched videos and experiments performed by some of the bigger YouTubers in the community, and no one reported a drop rate of over 10%. I find that absolutely abysmal, considering the fact that the festival's trailers heavily featured these new consumables, masks, emotes, and shaders. They should have been easier to obtain, if not easier, at least obtainable through actual gameplay. The majority of masks I received, even from Treasures of the Lost, were from last year, and the fact that they were even in that loot pool is wrong and shouldn't have been the case. But I wouldn't point out these negatives without suggesting alternatives. The exclusive Sparrow featured this time around should have been a reward for a lengthy Festival of the Lost quest chain, or at least the same model, but perhaps in a different color. The exclusive shells could have been a potential Nightfall reward, at current light level of course, as well as the ornaments, although Bungie has said that the Bad Juju ornaments will enter the loot pool later on. Just as they made special tweaks to Trials of Osiris for Festival of the Lost, it would have been cool to see those ghost shells drop as a tweak to Nightfall. Overall, while the new emotes, consumables, and masks were cool looking, there simply was not enough meat in the form of quests, as the new ones seemed more like bounties, and the heavy emphasis on microtransactions really drew away from the fun of the event. It felt like it was all just a premise to sell me something, which fine, even if it is, at least make it seem like it's fun, and like the only reason we aren't having this event is so that you can push off a bunch of new emotes on me. I honestly hope the livestream takes these criticisms from the community into consideration for SRL, and those are just my feelings about the event, as I wanted to chime in since I've seen so many videos on the subject. What are your opinions on this year's festival? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching guys.